Hi again and welcome back. It is Laura at Hyperstamper. I did a remake here of this antique junk journal. This is a more than 100-year-old school book, English school book. And this postcard here is from the late 1800s. It's just beautiful. And it's got this gorgeous peach and very soft pink rose on here with the thistles and the buds. And as you can see, it was quite torn, so I actually did adhere it to the cover. I don't normally, so you can flip over the back, but there was just a very short name on the back that said, love from your loving brother. So that is what the postcard said. I added some vintage doilies, top and bottom, and I made the lace bangle match the colors on the cover. I love it. Wait till you see what's inside here. I'm displaying this on this new bed of antique silk and lace that I got when I was down east. These are baby clothes, but I just think they're so soft and pretty, just like the cover of this journal. So I kept in the original pages of the book. It is 104 years old, and this is also for her on her birthday. To this girl here from Uncle Stuart and Auntie Curry. And the original first pages here. And then we go right into the book. We've got an antique postcard here, and that is from approximately 1910. This is a birthday card from this wonderful album that I just showed in my video. And this particular card is from the 40s. It's a birthday card, and I had a little trouble pulling it out of the album, so I left the back page on there so I could keep the card intact so that you could journal on the inside as well. Look at the beautiful insides they used to make on their cards, just lovely. And that's all part of an antique book page there as well. This is a hilarious page here from the 50s, and this is of course, our young folks will maybe not know this is Bob Hope, and it is an advertisement for color photography. It's just weird to say. Here is an old Quizmo card, and that is a Massachusetts bingo card, and it was actually an educational lotto. So lotteries before we know what lotteries are today. There's a 1950s crochet page, and another Edgar Allan Poe American literature page from the early 1900s. And this is just a wonderful little page from the Topsy and Tyke book from the 1930s, and a vintage recipe page here, which is, I just love the pinks again, kind of goes with the cover. Lacey's gonna come and say hi. Another children's book page, and this here, I just got this wonderful deck of cards here, and I could not wait to put this in my first journal since I've been home, and that one's going right in there. Beautiful little kitten card, also with roses, and then this 1920s snap fastener card and pineapple pattern here, which is my favorite crochet pattern. And then this here is another magazine page advertising different patterns that you can knit and crochet. 1927 page down there. Here is a wonderful old vintage iron-on transfer so that you could embroider on your tea towels or pillowcases. Made out of a little tuck spot here with a vintage children's page. This is from a 1930s French dictionary. Look how great that is, a flags page. And I have been holding on to this because I just think it's so beautiful. A lot of these flags have changed over the last almost 100 years, so it's kind of fun to have that. That is a very, very special and historic piece. The big book of fairy tales up there, hidden spot here, some birch bark here, and then beautiful England stories there, and then this 1800s marbled inside cover page that you can journal on the back of there as well. More American literature. This is a great vintage book here, The Bunny Who Wanted Red Wings. You can journal on the back of there as well, and another little antique backed children's plate there. Some antique stamps here, and I made this little journaling tag out of an old book cover, and the little advertisement here is actually from the 1920s. Puffed Sun-Maid. Sun-Maid has been around for a long time, and that same woman is still on the cover of Sun Raisins. That's just from a really great 1930s children's book page. And we've got some 50-year-old Chantilly lace here from a wedding dress. Freckles, 1904, little ring there. And this is from the Stick 'em Book series that I love so much, and some little child cut this all out and then found where it belonged in the book and glued it down. There's a vintage Trees of North America book. And that is from the 70s, so 50 years old. And then this great EduCard vintage as well. H is for house. And you can journal on this vintage school book paper. More vintage children books. This is 1950s Raggedy Ann book page, which we love. 1950s or 40s, I forget. Theater World magazine page. American literature, and another hilarious vintage recipe page here. Great ways to set a table for entertaining. And this is actually the cloth of an 1800s book cover that was just way too damaged to use, but I loved the patina left on the cloth, so I reused it. 1927 piece here, and just a really pretty little, if I can open it. What do you think, Lacey? Can I open this? Clumsy? Oh yes, the Three Bears page there from a vintage book as well. 1950s embroidery book page, another children's book page. This is a lovely little piece from the 50s, front and back, so I added some paper there so you could journal a little bit on there, and I made the pocket here out of a vintage crochet doily, pink and white. You don't see that too often. Vintage dictionary page there, a mini pocket dictionary, and another children's book page with antique paper on the back for journaling. Some fun trim up here, and this is an 1800s engraving plate. More children's book pages there, and this is a wonderful, wonderful plate from a vintage book on antique artists. That's from the National Gallery there. And then I've got another vintage page here for journaling on the back. And another one here, little girl swinging, more journaling. Children's Garden of Verses is the actual book, not a replica. And we've got some really cool old tape here that I was able to save and use on this tear. That's from the 1920s. And then the children's second number book is the cover of the book, and I just loved it, so I added it as well. Great poems here too from that Child's Garden of Verses. And this is a student's workbook page from the 40s, and then this child got an A. That is pretty great. Vintage children's sheet. This is another cloth cover on a antique book that didn't make it, and then another great plate there to journal on as well. Early 1900s school book lessons page here. And that brings us to the end of the book, where we have a little hidden waterfall journaling spot there. I hope you love it. It's pretty special. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Please subscribe and come back soon. Bye for now.